think for the initial video, we looked at the estimates in starting something similar.
Cost, yeah.
Yes, and we're like around 12,000 from the time you begin to the time you end.
That's for if you are doing 1,000 stocking density.
Yes, and with a 10 by 10 tarpaulin pond. Okay, sure. So looking at that, if you have to look at the sales and like having some cost benefit analysis, as to if there's my initial cost of capital, how much am I supposed to? What are the returns I'm supposed to look at within the span of the 6 months that will mature for me to sell?
Okay. For the period of 6 months, average you should be expecting half tonne to 800 kilos.
Okay.
Half tonne to 800 kilos. At best, you can get 1 tonne.
From the 1,000
yes,
that you initially stock.
Yes, at best you can get 1 tonne. But at best you can get 1 tonne. But normally you don't have to use the best scenarios to.
At least an average.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say if you are doing half tonne, and price per kilo is 35 cedis.
Oh, okay.
35 cedis.
Sure.
So if it's a tonne, that's 35,000. So if you're doing half tonne,
half of 35,000.
yes.
Okay.
18,000,
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
around 18.
Yes.
Around 18.
Yes.
So that's the worst case scenario, 18.
So yeah, I'm here on Marteen Farms. I'm still here with Marteen. Yes. So we are here to look at let you guys have a look at the catfish farm he has here. Here is a very good and a beautiful place, if I have to say. I like how the serene and everything is. We're here to learn about more details about catfish farming. In the first video, we had to look at how it started, how the business has been, challenges going into it and all of that. But here, they want to learn how if someone wants to start their own catfish farm, some technical information, some farm management practices they want to know about it when it comes to catfish farming. So yes, if you don't check that other video, you can go and check that one out before you come here. But in this video, we're going to look at how to start, some information that will be useful to you when starting. Alright, before you get into the video, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. Yes, to be part of this family so as to learn more and grow together. Alright, so Marteen, so now we are here at the farm itself. Yeah, at least yes, you can see tarpaulin ponds and all of that.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, before someone watching us want to know what he can do when he's starting, what some of the information can be useful to him when starting. So for a beginner who is starting their own catfish farm, what do you say are some of the things you have to have in place when doing your own catfish farm?
Yes. I will still take us back to our first video.
Yeah, so yes, you can check down, but yes, you can just reiterate some of them.
Not just fish farm, catfish farm itself. In every fish farm, location is very, very much important.
Okay.
The location you choose, and as you said, here is a very good serene environment for the fish.
The shade and all of that.
The shade and the water.
Yes.
We have the water lake beside us, so we have abundance of water, and that's exactly what they need to do well.
Okay.
So first of all, you must check your water source.
Okay.
You must check your water source, and some people, I know of some people who normally they will tell you. Some people will tell you, I want to start. I have this stream somewhere, and I want to dam it and start. And I'm telling you, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous to do that because a stream, you don't own it. You don't know the source. It's coming from somewhere. And it's dam it is flowing. If someone decides to drop something, and it flows out to your place,
you fetch it and feed it to
it kills your fish.
Yeah.
You see, so when you're talking about location with good source of water could be a well.
Okay.
A well that you've dug, a borehole, or even Ghana water.
Okay.
Pipe water, but that one you must treat it because of its nature, or you can use it for the fish. So you have a good source of water, you have security, because it's very much important. It's business. If your fish are grown and people come to
be stealing it, it becomes problematic.
Yes, it worries a lot. And also, you must be located at a place where all other farm inputs will be easily, readily, and accessible to you, available and accessible to you.
Okay.
You know, because you can't decide to site a farm at a place, then you'll be conveying your feed for about more than 5 hours journey. Sure. It will cost you a lot.
Yeah.
So you site it closer to spaces where you can get feed, other farm inputs, and also it's always important to be closer to other farmers.
Okay. Why is that important?
Because you know, fish farmers are still learning in Ghana.
We've not reached there yet.
Yes, and a farmer may get introduced to something and it will be working for him. Mm-hmm. If you don't have privy to that info, you may be struggling. So when you network with farmers and you are closer to them, any new thing that pops up,
you get it.
Then you also, you know, start using it to help yourself. So it's very much important to also network yourself with people who are already in the industry.
Okay.
See, so when you have those ones, then you can go into it. Because if you have people who are already in the industry and you are networked with them, they can easily help you get things. You see, they can easily help you get things. You may be finding something difficult to get, you don't know where to even get it. Okay. But those in the industry, they're already buying it, so they will tell you where to get it. So you have to know how to network yourself among some farmers as well. And also, when going into the farm, if you have everything set up, the starting one is important thing is, you know, the seed. If you are not doing your own fingerlings, you are not producing your own fingerlings, but you are buying from a commercial source, you must be very mindful from where you are buying it from. There are hatcheries, you buy their fish, they don't grow. You buy, the mortality rate,
it's very high.
Yes, you harvest less than 50% of what you bought.
Sure.
They die a lot because they cannibalize because of the nature of the seed. You see, and also the fish, you know, it's not just one species we have around.
You have different
species. So you must know the type that you are buying. The type, because it's not just when they are small like that you may not see. But when they grow, that we have the Dutch clarias. It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
That one, no, it serves the farmer's purpose because they grow well, they are bigger, you know,
so
more meat.
That's the best one to
That's
have.
The best meat. That's the best species to go for, the Dutch clarias. That's the hybrid type.
Okay.
You see, so when you want to buy catfish, fingerlings or juveniles, you go for that type.
Dutch clarias.
Yeah,
I think I visited a farm some time ago and the guy was explaining the different types of
the
fishes we have. Yes. I think he made mention of, if I remember, heterobankus.
Yeah, the hetero.
They say they are big ones.
Yeah. No, all of this are hetero. They are, you know, that's the family. They are under 8, but you know, but under the clarias family, you know, the catfish we have in the system, some their nature, they had bigger heads, small meat.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to talk about. They are all heteros, but they have bigger head, small meat. So it's like they grow big crab.
Meat never
small. So when a customer buys, they won't like buying from you. You understand? They won't like buying from you.
Makes sense. Okay.
So you must be mindful of, and that type, you know, they cannibalize a lot.
Yeah. I think he made mention of that.
Yes.
Please come here. So he made mention of that in that video. So if you not watch that video, I will link it as well in the description.
So it's very, very much important to know your seed, the seed you are stocking. Okay. You see, that's why I said it's very good to network with farmers. A farmer can easily tell you, oh, this is where I buy my seed from. This ones they will give you full Dutch clarias.
Okay.
No libi.
But is there a way to
also
identify?
The cost.
Okay.
The cost of fingerlings, the cost of the juvenile, because everything is business, so the costing
becomes another issue.
So you get the right source and also a good price for it.
Okay. I wanted to ask: is there a way the Dutch clarias? So when they grow, that's when you can be able to identify. Is there a way
you can identify it at the minimum.
How do I identify the Dutch clarias from other ones? So maybe some of us were going to buy from somewhere.
Yeah, the Dutch clarias, they don't have big heads. They call their head the snake head type. They have that snake head, a small head, like that, flat, small head.
Sure.
You see, and the meat is long. You could see that they are very long. The length of the fish is long. Yeah, unlike the other types, the other species we have in the system. Yeah, that one you could see the head so big and the meat very short. You see, and right from the fingerling stage, you can see it.
Identify
You can identify that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
See,
So
because it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid between the one from the Dutch and also one from the local carriers, and I think they crossbreed the local carriers and one from the Dutch to get that one. Yeah. So it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid of the local and the foreign.
So at least it has features of both.
You understand? It has that features to disease resistant, fast growth rate, and the body too.
Nice.
Good meat.
Sharp. So now let's touch at one or two things. While you're speaking, I want to take some notes.
Yeah.
So you made mention of the type of water when you're using it, the well, the stream one not being good. Like the pipe one, you made mention of how to treatment you have to, before you give it to them.
Yeah.
Can you touch on a little bit on that? How to treat those ones, the pipe one?
Yeah. If you're using pipe-borne water, if a water source is pipe-borne water, pipe-borne water, from the water source, the Ghana water, they treat with alum and chlorine. Yes. And those ones are not harmful for human consumption, but they may infect the fish when the content is so much in the water.
Okay.
So what you do is, if you are using pipe water, make sure that you always give the pipe water to the fish after it has stayed in your reservoir for hours, let's say 8 hours.
Okay.
So you can make it overnight before you can pump for the water for the fish. Because if it stays that longer period, all the chemicals goes
down.
Does
it have to have sunshine on it, or just
no?
Normally just
once it's there, because the treatment is treated for our consumption. When it stays, it tends to pure water, like no minerals and nothing is in it.
Okay.
From that, even if there is an amount of that in cry, it wouldn't affect the fish.
After you've made it settle
rather than pumping directly on them,
them,
you will kill your fish.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay. Then those who have
and if you have also a water, let's say a borehole, they've drilled a borehole or well, but there are some sediments, like let's say deposits, mineral deposit or something. Normally the ones we observe or we witness or experience is the iron deposits. Those are the common ones.
Okay.
And the solution for that one, you have to use soda water.
Okay.
Soda ash.
Okay, that you put it in there. How do you go about it?
The application of soda ash, that one is an expert, if you don't know how to apply it. Yes.
Okay.
If you don't know how to apply that one to,
it has its own implication.
But I just want you to know that we use soda ash.
So that's for the borehole, right?
For borehole. If you have any other source of water, you see, it could be that this water, it will get to a time iron deposits will be more.
Okay.
You see, and for you to witness that, you could see small time, then your water, the pH, it turns acidic.
Okay.
When feed decays more, when their urine, the waste goes into the water more, it turns it more acidic.
Okay.
Because it already has those ions in there. But if it's all natural, that one, it will take a longer time before the water will go bad.
Okay.
So you observe those things, then you know that sometimes if you are not so sure, you can also run a water quality test. Yeah, the water research people I talk about, they do it.
So they can come and check those ones.
Yes, you will take a sample, you take it there, they will check and tell you the process. So if you have to do soda ash treatment, then you find a professional to do it.
They themselves can even access for the soda ash treatment, right?
Oh, soda ash treatment is not difficult, but just that I don't want to. Sometimes, if you tell people how to apply this, they'll go and do it straight.
Just get an expert who can do it for you.
So I will just tell you that soda ash is what we use to treat
when there's more iron.
When there's iron and those stuff like that. Yeah, but the application, the ways to go about it. Probably next time when you are doing it, you can take a video that you share on the page for them.
No problem. That's fine. Yeah. So those who also use borehole, that at times has a lot of salt concentration. Is it good to use for them, or is there a way to reduce the salt concentration in the water?
And the salt, normally those salts, they use filters. When it's salty like that, you use filters to at
make
least,
sure.
Yes, you take some out, because fish. We have 3 types of water for fish that can hold fish.
Okay.
We have the marine, the brackish, and the fresh water.
Okay.
The marine is the sea water, the sea.
Sea one.
That's the marine fish. So that's where we have the snappers, the salmon, the tunas.
All of them
and
surviving in that.
Yes,
Okay.
and we have the brackish water. That's the estuary.
Okay.
And the mixture of the sea water and the fresh water. So like those at Ada, so
where the
estuary is.
Yeah.
There are species of fish, organisms that you find there that you don't find them in the fresh water and the sea water, because they do well in just the brackish environment.
Okay.
And there are fish that do well only in the freshwater environment. That's tilapia, catfish, and the likes.
Okay.
Yes. So salt, because they don't do well in salt water, when
you give it to them,
it may be problematic for them.
Okay.
So the salt, you can use filter to filter it to a level which wouldn't be that more saline or dangerous for them. They can do well in it.
Sure.
You can filter it to get it to a level that will be very okay for them. You can use it for them.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay, so I think for the initial video we looked at the estimates in starting something similar.
Cost, yeah.
Yes, and we're like around 12,000 from the time you begin to the time you end.
That's for if you are doing 1,000 stocking density.
Yes, and with the 10 by 10 tarpaulin pond. Okay, sure. So looking at that, if you have to look at the sales and like having some cost benefit analysis, as to if there's my initial cost of capital, how much am I supposed to? What are the returns I'm supposed to look at within the span of the 6 months that will mature for me to sell?
Okay. For the period of 6 months, average you should be expecting half ton to 800 kilos.
Okay.
Half ton to 800 kilos. At best, you can get 1 ton.
From the 1,000 that you initially
Yes, at best you can get 1 ton. But at best you can get 1 ton. But normally you don't have to use the best scenarios.
At least an average.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say if you are doing half ton, and price per kilo is 35 cedis.
Oh, okay.
35 cedis.
Sure.
So if it's a ton, that's 35,000. So if you're doing half ton,
half of it 5,000.
yes,
Okay.
18,000,
18,000.
right?
Yes. Yeah,
around 18.
Yes.
Around 18.
Yes.
So that's the worst case scenario, 18.
Oh, okay. I mean, at least you make some profits.
Yes, that's the full. And that one, if you are able to make the 18, that means your setup cost that you did one time, you've taken it out.
Okay.
You see, so if you want to just do around half ton, for the worst case scenario,
that should be fine.
That should be fine.
That ton, that's you looking at they being above 1 kg and the number that you have.
Like the number that you have and the average weight of, let's say, from 700 grams, 800 grams to 900 grams, because
nice.
you wouldn't get all of them being a kilo
above, okay.
or above. If you have the 1,000 pieces, definitely you will encounter mortalities. So let's say you have 70% survival, so 700, and the 700, if you have each one being 1 kilo and above, that's more than 1 ton. That's more than 1 ton, and it's achievable. But that one will, the cost of investment in that, will be also more, because you will feed more period. So if with that you can even get 2 tons from that fish, if 700 pieces and each one be more than a kilo.
That's wild though.
That's wild. You can get one.
Just that you incur a little bit more in terms of feeding, giving it to them.
Timing, because once you are paying staff, so once they are in the pond that you are feeding, you are also paying staff
to manage and all
other
of that.
Expenses is coming in, here and there. So like normally, if you are using the worst case scenario and I like to work with that. I like to work with that half ton.
Estimates,
because, and with the half ton, if you want to go by that, you may not even do 6 months production.
It will be less.
Yes, it might be less.
Okay.
It might be less, or exactly 6 months to get it.
Sure.
Yes.
So someone advised something that even reminds me that if you have your fishes and you want to, let's say, smoke then sell, go advise them, don't let your fishes be
so big.
Big hair, but like 1 kg. That you rather lose.
You lose. The reason being that I told you about the marketing, the pricing.
Yeah.
The marketers have managed to categorize our fish. They have the smoking size and the kilo and the above size.
Okay.
You see, so those who smoke and sell, when you get them to buy your fish, they will buy your fish at the smoking size prices,
regardless of the size.
The 35 cedis I mentioned is for the 1 kilo and above per kilo.
Okay.
If your fish is not up to 1 kilo, they won't price it 35 cedis for you. That's 20 cedis per kilo.
Wow.
Look at the difference. Look at the difference. So people, to get your fish to 1 kilo 2 is not easy. So when they get them to that smoking size, you don't stress it. They clear.
Very true. Very true.
They clear.
One farmer I visited, he made mention of that.
Yes.
It's always not advisable to let them get to 1 kg. Otherwise, you end up losing.
Yes, if they get to 1 kg, and you will get to the point and keep people, those who buy it at that 35 cedi for you.
That one is good.
It's good.
But to those who smoke,
It's
yeah,
good.
no, it's not.
No. You don't
Bad
bring
business.
just any buyer to come and buy your big fish. When it's big, you find those who will buy it at that good price for you. Yeah. For the point and kill people, because the smoking people too, they don't buy the big ones. They don't buy the big ones. When they buy the big ones, they will cut them into pieces and smoke. You see, but they want to coil it, you know,
Put it in their mouth.
Get it nicely and smoke them. So, if that's what I said, the management is very, very much important. You manage everything right from the cost to the technical aspect itself.
Okay.
So you know that okay, this is how much has gone into it. Now, averagely, you are doing sampling, so you know that this is my fish, the average weight. This is the number I have in there. You can do the calculation and know that okay, it's right time for me. I should harvest. Then, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So speaking of some of these calculations, we made mention of feeding, the calculation you go about it, how you go about it. If you can elaborate a little bit on it. So in terms of feeding, with the estimate of the 1,000 you made, that are starting with the 12,000,
Yes.
with the 1,000 capacity.
Yeah.
In terms of the feeding ratios or how to go about your feeding, can you give us elaborate a little bit on that for us? So in case someone is starting and wants to go with the 1,000 capacity, how he can do that?
You see, there's a feed chart. There's a feed chart that you can easily get it online.
Okay.
Yes, you can get it online. Then, you know, when you stock at the initial stage, they don't eat much. A 20 kilo for the 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
A 20 kilo of feed. That's why normally at the initial stage, we buy the expensive and the foreign feed
The
for
foreign
them.
one, yes.
But they don't eat much, but you must give them the quality one so that it can boost them.
Okay.
So a bag may cost you, let's say, 500 cedis, but for a whole month, they may eat just 2 bags.
That's a
Or-
20 kg one.
Yes, or just a bag.
Okay.
You understand? So from then, you go back to the chart. It's advisable that every 2 weeks or every month, you do sampling.
Okay. So you get a big one from the small ones.
No, that's sorting.
So okay, there was a sampling.
The sampling is to know the average weight you have in there.
Okay.
You see, that's what we did.
So the weight determines the
The
price.
weight, no, the
The
weight you have
feed.
in there is what you use to calculate
The
the
feed you
feed
give them.
for the next daily, because they feed a percentage of their body weight. Yes, we always give fish the feed. No, it's calculated based on the percentage of their body weight. So when the fish is like, let's say 500 grams, you go to the chart, then you check at 500 grams what percentage of its body weight that is supposed to take. So the chart will tell you, okay, it's at 500 grams, feed the fish 2% of its body weight. So 2% of the 500 gram is what the fish will eat for a day. Then you multiply it by the number of
Fishes you
fish
have
you
in
have in there.
Wow, and that's not small.
So
math
every time, so this data I took today, I will go back on my laptop, I will do everything, then put the reports for the month. Based on that, you know the feed they will be consuming for the next. Because if you know daily, then okay, if daily they are eating 20 kg, then I'm supposed to buy feed for 30 days, 20 times 30. And you know the number of weight you will buy.
This is interesting, and the chart really helps. Because
The chart really helps.
It can help
It
you know
helps.
the number of.
Yes, how
times
to
feed them.
manage your feed. How
Okay.
to manage your feed.
Okay.
And sometimes, you know, other factors also goes into the consumption of the feed. You may calculate the feed for them, and they may, for instance, they may supposed to be eating 10 kilos a day, but because of the environment and the conditions that may be existing in that particular time, they may not be able to eat the 10 kilos.
Okay.
Temperature
Can affect that.
can affect that. Maybe you may be during that time, it may be in the rainy season. The weather wouldn't be too good for them, so the aggression towards feeding
We
comes
reduce a
down.
bit.
It doesn't mean that you should force and give them the 10 kilos you've calculated. You also follow their physiology, study them, monitor them, and manage it in that manner.
It makes
You
sense.
understand?
It makes
Yes.
sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. So we'll have to go be close to your fishes to know
Yes,
how
you
they are
always have to-
behaving and all of
yes,
that.
yes.
Because when feeding them, you made mention that you have to check how they are aggressive towards it to know
Yes.
whether there's
They
something
are doing well or
wrong.
they are disease infected or something. Like
Yeah.
the crackhead like this. When you observe them, you could see.
On it.
Yes, when they are sore on the fin or those things, then it tells you that they have a disease that requires treatment. then you go to it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So zooming into diseases now,
Yeah.
I think we touched a little bit of that in the
Yeah.
previous video. Can you run us through the random diseases that affect them, how they can be, you can resolve that, and some solutions when it comes to diseases, how to prevent them basically?
You see, the symptoms that you observe, you could see that they are being infected with a disease or something like that. Is even when you observe them, as you said, doing observation, you can see that they are losing buoyancy in swimming.
Okay.
The balance, you know, they lose buoyancy.
They
And you see them hanging around the walls. The way they position themselves in the cage will tell you that they're not doing well.
Okay.
You see, you feed them, you don't eat. You put the feed in there, you go back, you come back and meet the feed.
The same thing.
Still
They've
on
not
the
eaten
water,
the
they are floating on the water. Those symptoms tells you that they are not
something
good.
wrong.
There's something wrong with it. So if it's the crackhead or something, then you, as I said, we have some now the treatment we do around this. I even tell all catfish farmers to try and plant bitter leaf around them because it's efficient.
Okay.
We use it and it helps us. It helps us a lot. So when you realize it like that, what you do is first of all you take the water out. You first
You drain the entire water.
drain the entire water. That's why you must observe them and be monitoring.
Yeah.
Immediately you take the water out. Then you pump fresh water. Because the causes of the disease may come from the water. You understand? When you pump fresh water for them, you're giving them fresh oxygen. The dissolved oxygen you are giving them is fresh and it's good. So instantly it puts them in a very good condition before you stop feeding. You drain the water,
You stop
you
feeding.
put fresh water, stop feeding for a day or two.
Wow. They can survive without the food.
Oh yes. Then you
Okay.
treat them before you can continue your normal feed.
Is there a reason why you don't feed them during that time?
Yes, because feed contamination too may be the cause of the disease.
That one
You
too
understand?
is
Yes, feed contamination. And sometimes, depending on, let's say, if it's, for example, it's the crackhead disease, the one I describe as
The red ones come around their
things at
eyes,
the head,
yes,
the head, the topmost part of the eye, the eyes, that's the head, the scalp.
Yeah.
That disease normally is caused by deficiency, some minerals, essential deficiency of nutrients in the feed,
Oh, okay.
like vitamins and minerals.
So if you keep giving them the feed, it will not solve the problem.
yes, so you change the feed. If you realize that is the feed, that you change the feed, or you can decide to add more minerals and vitamins to the feed than give to
And
them.
give to them. Okay, then
You see?
what is the best feed you recommend that everyone should buy? Or what do you use to feed your fishes here?
The fish, I don't use a particular feed, one
Okay.
feed. All the fish feed that they sell on the market are well formulated feed.
Okay.
And well formulated is they are in well balanced. You
Because
know,
of
the
the
balanced diet,
nutrients.
yeah, nutrients is well balanced.
Okay.
Yes. So just that you have to know the pellet size you give to them and the age that they are and the pellet size.
Okay.
You see, because the feed, no, the starter one, you have the pellet size of, let's say, 0.9 mm to 12 mm.
Mm.
Yes, 0.9 mm to 12 mm.
Okay.
So you start with the smaller pellet size because of the size of their mouth. Yes. So you increase it as they are growing. And also, as they are growing, the nutritional requirement that they need is different. So you know the feed to follow.
Okay. Okay.
You see, so it's not like I'll say this type of feed is quality than the other. And management wise too, sometimes the cost will also determine the type of feed you must
You get for
purchase. Yes.
So if you want more details here, I'll put his contact in the description. You can reach out to him. He will take you through, help you get more detailed information about how to go about all of these things, so it can be good and be helpful to you. Speaking of water, how many times do you change water here at the farm?
With the for my site here, we do water change every 4 days.
4 days.
Every 4 days. Every 4 days. But sometimes it goes beyond the 4 days. As I said, we monitor. So the water may not go bad after the 4 days.
It can still be
So we
manageable
leave
for
it,
them.
yes.
Okay.
So, but sometimes after 3 days, you see that it's so bad, you have to take it out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So there must always be a system that you can use to change water.
But averagely, if someone, a beginner person that wants to know how to change his water,
Do
how
it
what would you
every
advise?
3 days.
3
When,
days.
when you stock at the initial stage, the finger, they are very delicate. So for them, you change it every 3 days.
Okay.
But after a month or two, when they've matured a bit, that one, their resistance level is high, you know, and they are matured to, they can resist some kind harsh conditions.
Okay.
For that, you can decide to do it every 4 days or 5 days. Yeah.
Okay.
That's for the water
Okay.
change.
Okay, then let's speak about sorting. What point do you sort them?
The sorting here, I did, and I usually do my sorting after the first month into the second month.
Okay.
After the first month into the second month. But I don't take it beyond the second month, because after the second month they are grown already, and you may not even see the size variation.
Okay.
But after the first month and the second month, you know, you could easily see the size variation. Then you take the bigger ones outside for the bigger ones. The importance of sorting is you reduce eating competition, feeding competition.
Yeah.
You see, you reduce it, and also you create space. You create enough space for them, because this fish, they need space to grow well. You create enough space for them to grow well.
Okay.
And also during sorting, we do counting as well. So it's sorting and counting to know the actual numbers you have after the stocking.
Okay. So you know the mortality
you've incurred, because the mortality, when you stock, you are supposed to take daily mortality, record daily mortality.
Wow.
But it's not accurate. There are some that they die, they don't come up for you to see. There are some they die, the fish eats them. You see. So you can only know the actual numbers you have after you've done your counting and sorting. So the sorting time, you don't just take the bigger ones from the smaller ones. You also count as well.
Okay.
Individually, we count each fish.
Wow.
Yes, so that you know the numbers you have, because it's based on that numbers that you'll be using to calculate your feed, your daily feed for them, till as you are going. You see.
That makes sense. Okay, so like finally, on a daily basis, if you come to the farm, what are the farm management practices to check when it comes to the farm, or you advise someone to also take as a practice that he can do when he visits his farm?
Yes, what I check is, first of all, the cleaning of the environment is very much important for us. And one thing is, this fish, when they are in tanks like this, when they are running fish ponds like this, and you have bushy environment, try not to use chemicals to spray around.
Okay.
You see, try not to use chemicals to spray around. You may end up killing your fish, because as you are spraying, wind may be blowing, air may be blowing. It may blow the chemicals into the tanks, and you may end up killing your fish.
Okay.
So it's always advisable you sweep, weed. That's what we do here. So you clean the environment, and also the cage, when there are droppings in the cage, you take them out. And you also observe your environment. It's today that we took this bed out, the bed net out.
Okay, well, it was on it.
You will fix a new one.
Okay.
You will fix it, because we are changing water. When it's done, you will fix a new one. We always have bed net on the pond. The reason being that, you know, where we have leaves, the droppings, it prevents the droppings, but mainly for bed.
I got some beds.
There are some birds that they pick them.
Oh wow.
So if you site your farm and you don't observe the environment to see that you have such birds, the blue birds and those ones with
the long
it's not. If you don't realize or monitor to see that they are around, they may be killing you, they may be eating your fish. The mortality, you may not know what is causing your mortality.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. That's a good point.
Yes. So normally you observe, then you use a bed net to cover, to prevent some of those things. So those are the things we observe around. Apart from that, the rest is basically technical management of the fish.
Like the feeding, changing of water,
feeding, monitoring them, changing of water. The sorting and the counting activity comes once in a while. They will do it. But the sampling and the feed calculation, you will decide whether to do it every 2 weeks or 1 month. We will do it monthly, then we buy the feed for a month. So you can decide to do it every 2 weeks, then you buy the feed for 2 weeks. So that by the time it gets finished, you do another sampling, then you buy. You do another sampling, then you buy. Yeah.
So one of my last questions will be, so you see, I get this question a lot. People who do this tarpaulin ponds, most of them are at the backyard and all of that.
Yes.
Some of the question they ask me is, so is it good to have the sunshine directly on them? So is it good to have the shade? Because some of them are at the backyards, it's an open place and like sun is directly on them. Is it good to have a shade?
All the two is important.
Okay.
Because the fish, just like humans, they also have their fish, so they adjust to environment, harsh conditions. When the sun is shining so much on them, they must have a shade where they can go and hide. And if it's so cold for them and there is some sunshine as a part at some part of the pond, they must also be able to go there to adjust.
True.
You see, the sunshine can even the water temperature adjust it for them. So all of those things are important. But fish, there are some animals that they can adapt to what you give them, provided it's not harmful to them. They will adjust to the environment. So if your environment is where it's shaded or in a room, they will adjust.
Interesting.
Yes, they will adjust.
Interesting.
But if it's a direct sunshine, you must try to create a bit of shade. It can be a plywood. You can decide to put plywood, or let's say even palm branches or coconut branches at some parts to create a shade. So that, because for them, they are bentos doers. They like dark places like that.
Oh, okay.
And they like dark places like that. So whenever there is sunshine, or they feel that the sun is so hot, so they can always get shade.
Okay. So what the capacity we have here in the farm?
The stocking capacity.
Yes.
6,000. We did 6,000 stocking, but now we are hovering around 5,000.
Because of few mortalities.
Yes. 5,000, over 5,000, but I will use 5,000. Yeah, because the on top need the for
to make a lot of
because that one, by the time you have a square, I may not get them.
True.
We don't get them.
True. So 5,000.
Cannibalism, one daily mortality B, that happens. That one you can't prevent it. It happens. Yeah.
Okay. And you said you're looking at free stocking the last pond.
Yes. I will stock by the end of this month. I will stock a new pond. Yes. I will stock with 2,000. But they won't go to maturity in that pond.
Okay.
Because it's a 10 by 10 pond. Its capacity wouldn't take 2,000 to maturity.
You have to
So I will do sorting and counting as well. Yes.
True.
After the big ones are gone. Yeah.
True. So if there's any final message or anything we've not talked about, I feel like it's very important for catfish farmers to take note of. Can you let us know that?
Yes. As I said, as a catfish farmer, if you want to, or someone who is interested in getting into a catfish farming, you must consider your environment. Because if you don't have a good environment, it may make your cost of production so high. See, if you have a good environment where you are not buying water, or it's not costing you much to get water, it solves a lot of problems for you. Yes, and it will go a long way to even prevent diseases from happening. Yes, because most of the disease comes from the environment that you are operating. Yeah. And after you have your good environment, you must be mindful of the seed where you buy your fingerlings. You must be very, very mindful, because as a farmer, you expect that your fish will grow how else you are feeding them. Yeah. But if you are always buying feed and you are not seeing improvement in their growth rate, it worries a lot. So you check that one as well. And also your feed management. You have to know at every point in time the type of feed you give them, and your feed calculation. Feed management, I'm talking about the calculation of feed, the type of feed you give, that's the pellet size and the nutritional requirements, all of that. And sometimes too, if the feed you are giving, as I said, it has low minerals and vitamins in them, you add some to it.
Okay.
You add some to it to boost the immune levels of the fish, for them to be resistant to some things.
Yeah.
It will help you.
Yeah.
So those are important things. And I think the rest there, security,
security is very key, because of late here people come and just be stealing from you and all of that.
And also, as a farmer, one thing is, if your fish are ready, you shouldn't be in a haste to sell.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't be under pressure to sell your fish.
And you sell them at any price, just like
yes, you may sell them at any price, because once you are under pressure and the buyer realizes that, they take advantage of
that one there. It's a normal business 101.
You understand? So if you want to, you always have to make sure that you have one thing that pressurize farmers to sell their fish is when they don't have feed to feed their fish.
Yeah.
You see, they've run out. They've they've run at a point that they don't
can't
have
buy more
continue
feed
yes.
and that's
So
giving them
they just want to sell and
get some few money from it.
So as a farmer, you should try as much as possible to avoid such scenarios.
Okay.
You see, you shouldn't put yourself in a condition whereby if you don't sell, you can't continue.
True.
You see,
True.
so you always have to stock your capacity. Stock based on your capacity. If you can feed 500 fishes to maturity so that you won't be under pressure to sell, do that. If you can feed 1,000 fishes to maturity, well, that you won't be under pressure to sell, do that. Because at fingerling stage, how much is it? Juvenile 2 cedi. You can decide to buy 5,000 juveniles. It won't cost you much. But the cost of feeding that 5,000, you run.
More. Yeah, a lot.
You understand?
Okay.
And it's not about just having huge numbers. It's about managing what you can manage. So you can decide to do 500 pieces that you can feed them very well to get them each kilo. You get half ton or a ton, you sell, you make your money.
Sure.
Sure.
So we've touched base on almost a lot of things. We can't do everything. So yes, that's how his contact will be in there. If you have some questions too, you can put them in the comment section. So we have a discussion around that. He might be there to also answer. If I have answers to that, also help. And if from your experience from some of the things you talked about, if you also have a similar experience that you can also share with us, you can just let us know in the comment section. We can all get to learn about it. So that will be the end of this video.
And I think I can add.
You can go ahead.
Something came up. You know, when as a startup, when you have your tanks and everything, if it's a concrete tank, a dugout pond, or a tarpaulin tank, you must treat it.
Okay,
you must treat it before you stock. So, and the type of holding capacity you have will determine the type of treatment you give. You understand? If it's a tarpaulin tank, it has its own way that you treat it.
Okay.
You see, with a tarpaulin tank, you can simply do salt treatment. You clean inside with salt water, you see, so that it will disinfect everything.
Okay.
If it's a dugout pond or concrete tank, you can decide to use white lime. The common name is akalu.
Okay.
White lime. That's what we use to treat concrete or the dugout ponds.
Okay.
Yes. People are using. I see people using plantain. They cut plantain branches and into pieces. Then they stock the ponds and they fill it with water, leave it to remain for days. You know. For that one, I don't practice that.
Methods.
Yes, I don't practice that, and I don't know how efficient that is.
True.
But for faster and efficient ways, if it's the tarpaulin tank, treat it with salt, you are good. If it's either the concrete tank, the dugout pond, you can use the lime, the white lime, to treat it. You put it in there. The next day, you can pump water, flush it out, pump new water, then you use it.
True. So that would end this video. As I said, we finally touched base on some things that will be useful to you. We can't do everything. So if you have any questions, let it be in the comment section. His contact will be there. If you have any questions, you can ask him, and he can be of good assistance to you. All right. So that will end this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. People want this information to learn about it. So if you chance on this video and it's useful to you, share it to your friends and colleagues who are interested, so they can also get to learn about it. Subscribe and be part of this channel, so we all grow together. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.